23rd lesson, past perfect tense. It is formed by the simple past of the verb to have as an auxiliary verb, had, and the past participle of the main verb, used to indicate an action sequence. Example, I had called you many times before you arrived. Note that both action in the past, but one before the other. A negative sentence, I hadn't written a line until that day. And an interrogative sentence, had you called me before I arrived? Used in reported speech when we report something that was spoken, and in past and real conditional sentences. These two last items will be seen in the following lessons.
Nicholas swam in the silence of the depth and thought he could feel the pounding of the surf above him, or maybe it was simply the blood roaring in his ears. As he slowly stroked with his fins and pushed his way through the shoals of brilliantly hued fish, his thoughts drifted back to the events of the night before. He had arrived at the Sea Bandits Inn early, and there had been no one there except for one old man. The old man had been very drunk and leaning on the bar. Nicholas, he was continuously muttering to himself, occasionally shaken by hiccups which seemed to tear him apart. Before going to the inn, he had passed by the chart house and picked up a map of the nearby islands. The following day, Nick would take a group of very rich tourists diving, so he wanted to plot the course carefully and choose the best wrecks to visit. He had been so engrossed in the charts that he had not noticed the old man's approach. He had been startled by the finger which had suddenly stabbed at the map, leaving a dirty smudge as the old man had mumbled, "Here's where we went asunder with all that gold aboard." The innkeeper had run across the room and yanked the old man away, pushing him all the way to and out the door. Then the innkeeper had returned to Nick's table and apologized for old Ian's behavior. He told Nick that Ian was always prattling on about that shipwreck and disturbing his customers. Nick had told him not to worry and gone back to his maps. Now he slowly stroked along the bottom. He wondered if there could be any truth in the old man's story. He decided to check it out later, as the course he had plotted would take them right over the smudge left by the old man's fingers. This could be his lucky break. If he found anything, he might never again have to be anybody's guide. Refreshed by his decision, he turned and stroked for the surface. The first thing he felt was the sudden jolt and pull on his leg. The pain washed over him. He had been so engrossed in his thoughts that he had failed to see the 15-foot shark which had come towards him from behind the reef, and now it was too late.